We're ready.
Okay. Stand by. Cameras rolling. Speed.
Okay. First of all, talk about, you guys are sitting here at Warner Brothers Records.
Yes, here we are. In the lounge, the artist lounge.
The artist lounge. Just, we'll go back in a little bit, but just being here and how you guys got signed to Warner Brothers and what this kind of meant for you guys as artists to be signed not only to a major, but to probably the coolest, biggest record company there is.
Well, we got signed really quickly. Like, we just started playing, I think, a handful of gigs in LA. And I had a friend who, I was selling pasta at the farmer's market, and Abby also was selling pasta. And a friend of mine, his brother, worked at Warner Brothers and is now our A&R guy. But at the time we had just started playing, I was like, no, we're not ready to have anybody come check us out. Like, no. And he did anyway, so that's how it happened, I guess.
Wow. But when you guys first started, you kind of tell that story and just kind of the journey from where you started to here. It seems like not a lot of bands who do your kind of thing are getting signed to major labels.
Yeah.
So kind of how that all kind of happened for you guys.
We just wanted to have a band, so we got a couple of our friends to play with us. And then we just kind of sort of fell into it, really. We weren't looking for any sort of record deal. We just wanted to play some music and write some tunes. A friend of ours had encouraged us to start singing together, and so we would practice over at his house. He had a PA system for us, and he had like all kinds of instruments, and so a piano, so we'd go over there, and he would have musicians come from this bar that was around the corner, and they'd come over really late at night, and we'd stay over and practice and play with those people. So
What were the first performances like for you guys, and what was that like in terms of what you guys were trying to do?
What did we do first? We were just trying to remember how to play the songs at the beginning.
We were actually in another band at the same time. We were doing Ditty Bops music, where we would do these sort of, the band leader was a guy that's actually in our plays with us right now. His name's John, and he would do these sort of very theatrical introductions to each song to set the stage, and that was kind of inspiring to us because we had always wanted to incorporate sort of like theater into our shows. So.
Yeah, you guys have done that big time. I know it's gotten pretty extravagant at some shows. Yeah, talk about how that all kind of worked and what your backgrounds are. How many of you guys have theater backgrounds and art backgrounds, and how that works on stage?
Well, before we started the band, I'd always wanted to do something that integrated theater and dress up and music and comedy and all of it in one. And it kind of ended up coming that way differently than I'd expected, but kind of got there. And we like to make proppage. We like to use a lot of props. Is that a word?
No.
It's not. But so we just have fun making whatever we can, homemade things to like make the stage look more fun. And I love to just make the band wear silly clothes. And we just
but
kind
really,
of have
truthfully, often, like if somebody gives us a new article of clothing, it will inspire an entire show. A lot of times, a piece of clothing that we receive is basically all it takes to, like, oh, I got an idea for this show.
Yeah, we just kind of keep a giant list of silly ideas of themes of shows, and we were trying to not repeat for a really long time. So like, God, just keep going on the list and making up new ideas, and friends will throw in ideas, and it keeps it fun for us since we're not adding new songs every single show.
It really makes you appreciate how, Cher has multiple outfit changes in one show. Yeah. I mean, it really does. To even just try to do a different outfit every show is pretty
one time
difficult on the road.
Alice in Wonderland and Flower Show, and that was stressful. Yeah. So I can't imagine doing like multiple changes, although I'm sure she has help. So if you have dressers, then you can do a lot. Abby used to be a dresser as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What have been some of the most extravagant shows, if you look back at certain nights and this was just nuts?
Oh my gosh. The Alice in Wonderland show was really fun. It was at Cantor's Deli, and the reason it was super fun is we got to borrow all these costumes from Santa Monica College. Our piano player's sister is the costumer there, so these were I had a skirt that was like 3 feet out on each side, big hoop skirts, and it had a really fun script, and it was just really silly. That one sticks out to me.
We actually had a show that the theme was Amanda's birthday party, and that was one of my favorites.
It was my surprise birthday party.
Amanda's surprise birthday party, that's right.
That was really fun. That,
Very cool.
yeah. I ended up getting surprised, actually. It was fun.
Oh, yeah?
A big band of trumpet players.
Her dad's in this band called Luau and the Poi Boys, and they often perform brass band instruments on stilts. So
That
Very
was
cool.
very
Where
fun.
was this?
yeah.
That was at Largo.
They all made
yeah.
it in there.
Yeah, they made it in. And it was crowded too. I was
Yeah.
impressed. But we had a wonderful friend of mine do cowgirl tricks at a show we did in San Francisco, and that one was really fun. She did big lasso stuff and whips, but it was a little bit scary because the crowd wasn't really all the way out of the way. So whips can be scary. So we learned a lesson there. But she was really cool.
Now, I've only seen one of your shows, so how does the theme then inform the music you guys play? Do you throw in some songs from your record, then do a whole bunch of other songs that work with that theme, generally?
Yeah, I mean, we usually do about half and half. We do a lot of new songs because we've just been writing a lot of new songs and songs that will somehow slightly relate to the theme. We're not totally strict
Right.
in that regard, but yeah.
Talk about when you guys started to realize you were getting a following and the same people maybe coming to shows and you actually developing fans, what that was like for you, and when you first started noticing that and how that's kind of continued.
Well, when we started playing residencies around LA, we'd see a lot of the same people coming again and again, and that also inspired us to we got to keep putting on a new show for them because we're getting the same folks coming back to see something new. So that kept us going more theatrical. It's really fun. It's really nice to see. At the beginning, it was my grandparents were there from the beginning, coming again and again, and then slowly grew to people who were not related to me. And that's very exciting.
The Largo thing's a big deal for a lot of artists. And obviously, when you're playing there, and this has been going on now for a good part of better part of a year or close to that.
Yeah.
What's that been like for you specifically in terms of the people that have come to that show and what that maybe is,
That's great. I love playing there because nobody plays before you and nobody plays after you. You can just, unless you want to have an opening act, but you don't have to. It's like everywhere else you play, it's a horse race because you just get up and you got to get off the stage so the next person can get on there, and that just kind of takes away the joy of playing music for me a little bit. So that's been the best thing about playing at Largo. You can take your time and set up the show the way you want to set it up.
Yeah. That's where we got to really develop the show themes and stuff because you get to staple things to the ceiling and really make it your own space for the evening.
Right.
It's really they're so nice to let us do all that stuff. They're like, okay, here they come again with all their props. But yeah.
Now talk about taking all that stuff you guys have been performing for years and making a record, because obviously it's a whole different world. People aren't seeing you guys perform. How scary was that? How much fun was that to do something where people don't get to see you guys?
The actual recording process?
Yeah, and knowing what the product would be.
Well, that was great because there was there weren't really any expectations because we didn't have, we weren't playing always with the same band at that point. And when we went in studio, we played with studio musicians that we met when we got there. Our producer, Mitchell Froome, had brought in these great guys and he had a lot of ideas. We were just playing, we were just trying out a lot of different things. And half the songs, I think, that are on the record we finished while in studio. So it was kind of a surprise to us too. We didn't really know what to go and we didn't expect anything going in, at least I didn't. So.
Was that a goal or was it kind of scary to kind of... Right? I knew that was coming. To kind of put a record together after so much of your work is obviously performance-based, but then to do something like that, was that a nervous thing for you guys at all, or was that something you were just always wanting to do?
No, it wasn't. We weren't nerve-wracked about it at all. I thought it was just a great opportunity.
Yeah,
That Mitchell was interested in working with us was absolutely amazing because we really like a lot of the records that he's recorded and yeah. And the way he works is just totally open and free, and everybody felt very comfortable with each other. So.
And talk about some of the songs on this album, because the album it's amazing for one. But when you guys were writing this thing and then putting it on the record, are these songs you guys live with for a while? I know a few of them you were still finishing up, but are some of these songs that have been part of your world since the Ditty Bops started and couldn't wait to finally record them?
Probably Wishful Thinking is the oldest one, right?
Yeah, there's Wishful Thinking probably is the oldest one on there, which is I think it's the second song on the album.
Yeah.
And I made that up, one verse of it, years ago when I wasn't in a band or had any aspirations to do anything really besides just play my guitar in my, room or something. But That's probably the oldest one on there. And then when Amanda and I started performing, we wrote a couple of new verses to it and put a chorus on it that worked. And that's a good thing about working with somebody else when you write your songs, is you just, if something's not working, then we play it for each other and get a whole nother perspective on it. So.
Talk about how you guys see this album fitting in, because it's so unique in so many ways and so amazing in so many ways. You guys think about how it would fit into today's music scene?
Wait, I totally didn't hear the whole question. What was it again?
Just how this album is obviously unique in and of itself, which is a good thing, but how you see that fitting into today's music. That's something you guys, think about, and how this album, Ditty Bops is going to play to America and the world at large.
I don't know how it's going to play to America. We just hope that, when we went on tour with the Dresden Dolls, the first tour we went on, we were unsure how our music was going to settle in with that audience, and we were really excited that they were, it was well received. And then we went on tour with Nancy Sinatra. It was a totally different crowd, and it's just fun to play the record and play live for different audiences and see how it lands. I'm always excited when people are like, "Oh, I really like your record," and so does my child. That's always nice. So I don't know. It's exciting that it's getting listened to at all, kids and adults, and when we were playing from the beginning and through now, there's always a really big range in the age and demographic of the people that come to our shows. So that's exciting, just to see that it's not just pigeonholed for one audience.
Yeah. Basic question. Everyone else always does this for you in terms of press releases and every article I've ever written. But if you guys can just put into words your music, how would you describe this record and what you guys do?
Gosh, I'm really not good at describing it. When I describe it to people, I usually just tell them about what our band does, not so much what the record is. That we play acoustic music, with no drummer usually. But sometimes, yeah. And it's original music. It's influenced by all different parts of our background that we listened to when we were growing up, or that we listened to as teenagers. And it really is just coming from anything that we like. We try to just put it in our music.
And put into words the way the two of you work together in terms of your relationship, both personality-wise and musically, how it all kind of fits.
I always say, how do we work together? Sometimes we kind of just bring little bits and pieces of a song and try to put it together. And other times, one of us will write an entire song and the other will just put a harmony on it or something like that. It kind of depends on the song. And she's been writing tons of things lately, so I'm certainly trying to keep up on my ends, but I can't keep up. So I don't know, every song's different. On the album, there were a couple that we had written on our own, and then we just kind of brought it to the table. And I don't know, what did we write together on the record, from start to finish? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
Hard to remember.
What's the radio play been like for people that have been playing your album over this last, bunch of months? What was it like when you guys first heard yourselves on the radio? And
I still haven't heard. I've heard that it's on the radio, but I haven't actually heard it on the radio yet.
I've heard
But
bits.
it's exciting. It's really great that KCRW in LA has been playing it a lot. And they just started playing the Ooh La La track, I guess, at a few other stations around the country, which is great. I really like that song a lot.
It's always fun. At the beginning, when they first started playing on the radio, we'd get calls from our friends like, "You guys, go check it out. We're on the radio right now." And I'd usually
We flip
get
it
to
on
it too
and
late.
just say, "Oh, that was the Ditty Bops." Be like, "Oh man."
But of course, that's really exciting. It's really fun. And my mom, who lives in a different state, she'll call me and say, "I heard you guys on syndicated radio." Or, it's fun. It's really nice. It's great to have the support. It helps, people get, come check out our website or come check us out when we're in town. So we're so grateful for all the radio play.
the website's amazing. I know a lot of that's your art, been involved in a lot of what you guys do. Talk about bringing that kind of artistic side into what you guys do as a band, because that's it's kind of unique and it's very cool.
We don't really try to separate any of it. We just kind of want any part of us that's got creative ideas to just infuse it. I like to gain help from anywhere I can. Like, we just did this backdrop with my friend that I went to art, well, I didn't go to art school, but we studied art in school together, and she came down, we painted it, and just using all kinds of sources. I think, like, the Rick is the guy that did our website with us, and we totally loved his style, so we contacted him, and he wanted to work with me and use our styles together, and I think that's why the website is, like, cool, because it's kind of like my style with his sort of polished thing, so, yeah.
Other than you two, you mentioned the band, you want the band to be seen. How big is kind of the Ditty Bops collective in terms of people that you kind of have in your circles that you always want to be doing stuff with? Is it always a large group of creative people kind of helping you guys out and doing stuff?
Well, our band at its biggest, we're usually a quintet. That's like the ideal size. Unless we play with a drummer, then it's 6 of us. And we often have friends of ours who are actors or not actors that we make them act in our shows. And that adds a lot to the shows for us. Just getting fresh inspiration from other people and ideas. I guess we're kind of getting a little crew that we keep recruiting to put in shows.
We have a puppeteer that works with us quite a bit.
Yeah, shadow puppetry. Lynn Jeffries, she does shadow puppets, and that's such fun for us. She's done 2 songs of ours, music video, live music videos, basically, in shadow puppet world. So it's great to bring that element when I was really an admirer of her work, and then she wanted to work with us, so we were like very fortunate.
And you guys, this is the actual music video you guys made that you say is coming out? Is that
It's
for...
not the puppet
Okay.
one. That I was being
All right,
yeah.
right.
But yeah, we've been working on a couple music videos. Yeah.
And how much fun is that after all you guys backgrounds? You guys getting to go all out and do something
Well,
special?
so far they've been green screen videos, so more fun to see than to be in because we're just standing against a wall. But it's
I can't even go. I have nothing to say about music videos. We've had so many nightmares with it.
we have. But one of them's almost done, and that was fun. My
I'll
best
believe
friend
it when I see
from
it.
first grade directed it,
Wow.
and it was really fun to get to work with him. I have another project with him. We do a sketch comedy show together, so it was fun to get to work with him in this project. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Both you guys have acting background, or
No,
no?
neither of us do.
We're amateur actors in a big way. So that's my experience. But it doesn't stop us from doing
And
it.
if you come to a show, that will become
Yeah, it'll be
obvious very quickly.
Talk about where the humor comes from, though, in your music and in the shows, and how much of that is a big part of what you guys want to convey.
I'm not really sure where my humor comes from. Is anyone really sure of that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We definitely, in the lyrics and stuff, we're trying to include people in it and let people laugh at us and with us. So, I'm always looking for that when we're writing stuff. And the live shows, just trying to have a fun time ourselves. So.
And you mentioned possibly being inspired by a piece of clothing. I know it's worked the other way around, right? So talk about how that happened.
Oh, right. Yes, we inspired.
That's right. True.
Well, we were, when I was doing modeling, I guess I've been doing that for like 10 years, and one of my favorite designers is Petrozilia, and I'd done their show a couple times, and the last season I'd given them a flyer for our website and said, check out our music, and they did, and I guess they really liked the song Wishful Thinking and took it and kind of used it in their spring line, so to inspire their spring line. We were really, really flattered, and then they wanted us to play the show. So it was a great mixing of worlds.
Talk about when you first saw, was that when you actually saw some of these designs for the first time, what was that like? And was it interesting?
It was really exciting to play the show and see all these like beautiful girls wearing the clothing, and I loved it myself.
It's great to get to be any part of it. And our band really liked it. It was just, we'd never done anything like it, to play a fashion show and have to do this medley while they're all walking the catwalk. I had to stop myself and not laugh because it was great. It was just really fun.
And did it work?
Different.
Did the clothes fit your possible?
I thought it was the greatest success of the show myself.
Yeah.
But, hey.
I thought it was awesome.
Is this gonna be an ongoing relationship?
I think so, yeah. They've been, I'm wearing some of their stuff right now. They've been great in getting us clothes for live shows and for music videos and stuff, so we definitely will continue to work with them as long as they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just put into words what you guys are looking forward to over the next year in terms of, expanding bigger shows, other tours, what your hopes and dreams are for where the Ditty Bops are going to go in the near future.
We just got a booking agent. That was big. So as of like last week, so we're going to be looking for more tours next year, and we have ideas for a TV show, and so just keep plugging away at anything that makes us laugh. And while we're in LA, we'll keep doing shows around town and working with our friends. But you got any big plans for 05?
No, I'm not a goal setter. Just trying to go with the flow.
That way you're never disappointed, because if you don't have expectations, then you see what happens.
Any artists you guys would love to work with? Certain people you'd love to collaborate with?
Yeah. They're one of our favorite, probably one of my favorite singers is this gal named Jessica Hoop, and we do collaborate with her, and we would love to continue to and see what we can do in the future. She's a great singer, and who doesn't have a record deal yet, but she will soon, and we sing backup for her sometimes, and she sings in our shows, and we'd love to go touring with her. And Nellie Mackay is a great act as well. That would be a fun tour.
Just in watching you guys talk, put into words kind of your relationship and how that kind of works on stage, and little banter you guys have, and how much is that rehearsed, how much is that completely real, and how much is that just the way you guys are?
Well, if we're doing a sort of themed show, it's kind of mixed how much is rehearsed and how much isn't, but I'm not very good at memorizing lines, so most of it is just kind of whatever comes into my brain.
I used to be super nervous at shows. I'm like, okay, Abby, we got the songs out, but we have to work on our banter. People who would come to the show, they'd be like, you guys really kind of got to talk to the audience
It was
more.
true, our banter was,
We were kind of,
it was bad.
I would just be frozen in fear of what to say, like between songs. And then after a while, then I would write little notes to myself on my set list and follow that, and that was good. Okay. And then after that, I stopped writing things down, and then I just start blabbing. And lately, I have a hard time stopping, and she'll be like, okay, we're ready to sing the next song.
Yeah.
So I often expose probably too much about myself during shows because I'm just
Shows
chattering.
are therapy.
Therapy.
I mean, that's what they're all about.
Right.
Audience is always receptive, or every once in a while you get a crowd that like...
Oh, not always.
We had one really crappy show on the tour that was like, why are we here? Well, it's practice. We just decided to take it as practice. The band can always improve. And it
But
makes
you know what?
stronger.
You learn something every show. One show I was playing, I was looking out at these people. I'm like, man, look at your face. You're so like cool. You can't even like just listen to this. They like came up after the show. They're like, I love your show. And they like bought CDs. So you just don't ever know what people are thinking, and that's good for me to experience that.
Right.
It's been funny when sometimes we've seen people like just kind of walk by our merch stand afterwards and like not say hi, and then to like grab a sticker and keep walking. Like,
They're probably gonna deface it and put it up in the bathroom.
I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, we're not cool enough to like just go there and take a poster or something. So yeah, that was hysterical. Yeah.
All right. Very good.
Well, hey, thank you so much.
Thank
for the
you.
opportunity.
Well said. No, this was fun. We're looking forward to doing this for a long time.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll put something...
Are you gonna sing something?
Well,
or
I don't know
not?
what you know how to play.
Are we just playing and videotaping it? Is that what's happening?
Are you gonna sing the gentleman song? My contribution. Thank you. we haven't really done any piano. Play one tune on here. I don't play a oh my gosh, the Kathy Lee thing. There's this part where the mechanical piano is playing.
Yeah.
She's pretending to play it, and then she gets up and it's exposed that it's playing. She goes, "Oh, this old thing? I don't play a lick." She like go, "Oh my, never mind. You have to see it." It's really amazing. Are you gonna play anymore? Bring in some more juice. Now they'll know.
That was a great little. That was a